Today we are going to continue with the document reading for Jesse Vang. I will be rereading the 9th paragraph, the final paragraph of the original criminal complaint, because it did not come through the last time. And again, part 1, you can go under the playlists and click on the Elijah Vu playlist to listen to these in order. Again, these are the legal documents that are filed against Jesse Vang in the Elijah Vu case, the 3-year-old missing from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. That's not where he's from. That's where Jesse was from, but that is the city he went missing in. On the morning of February 20th, Vang woke up approximately 7:30 hours and prepared his son for school. At that time, he saw a victim sleeping on the futon sofa in the living room. Vang took his son to the bus stop and locked the apartment door. Upon returning to the apartment, Vang found the victim still sleeping on the sofa. He woke him up, they ate breakfast. He reported that he ate some cereal, which had frosting on one side, wheat on the other, without milk. Then they went to Vang's bedroom, where the victim was told to stand and pray near the foot of the bed. He did not change the victim's diaper as he was too tired. The victim was not allowed to do fun things as he was in a timeout. When asked about any toys at the apartment, Vang reported that there was one toy which he received at Christmas time. This toy was similar to a toolbox. However, he was not allowed to play with it during the week of February 12th, 2024 to February 20th, 2024, as he was in a timeout. When asked what happens if the timeout does not work with the victim, Vang stated that he would give him an ultimatum. Vang reported that the ultimatum was usually, "Do you want some cold water?" Vang reported that the victim did not like cold water, but did not know why. When asked about what victim ate while he was with Vang, he stated pizza, noodles, cereal, and similar items. He stated that the victim was still bottle fed and he was trying to get him to eat regular food. He was unable to provide specific details as to the food. While Vang was sleeping, he would lock the door to the apartment at the doorknob, deadbolt, and with a security chain attached at the top of the door to keep the victim from walking out of the apartment. Vang reported that on the evening prior to the victim going missing, he had consumed 3 12-ounce Budweiser beers and 1 cyclobenzaprine as a sleep aid. The information provided by Agent Lofi, hope I'm pronouncing that correct, Lieutenant Oswald, Detective Herman, Detective Lieutenant Glaser, and Detective Klumpian is believed because they had provided true and reliable information as law enforcement officers. The information provided by Jesse Vang and Katrina Baur is believed as it is based on their observations and experiences. The complainant is informed by the records of the Wisconsin Circuit Court's Crime Information Bureau, National Crime Information Center, and/or the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, known to the complainant to be reliable as they are records maintained by circuit courts and government agencies, which have provided true and reliable information, and the defendant has been convicted of the following offenses and crimes which remain of record and unreversed. October 24, 2002, party to a crime, criminal damage to property, Outagamie County. July 3rd, 2022, fleeing from an officer, battery by a prisoner, Manitowoc County. October 3rd, 2002, child abuse, intentionally causing harm, Outagamie County. January 21st, 2005, manufacturing and delivering cocaine, Winnebago County. July 23rd, 2004, possession of cocaine, Outagamie County. April 17th, 2006, possession of cocaine, Outagamie County. April 26th, 2007, resisting or obstructing an officer, Outagamie County. October 19th, 2009, felony bail jumping, Outagamie County. July 23rd, 2007, it's unclear what this charge was, and it was out of Manitowoc County. This was the approved complaint filed on February 26th, 2024. At this time, I am going to read the amended criminal complaint that was filed on March 19th. I'm not going to read it in its entirety because a lot of it is exactly what it was from the original. So I'm going to try to just read portions that are not exactly the same from the first one. So again, count one, chronic neglect of a child, specified harm did not occur, party to a crime. So they review the probable cause, which we previously discussed quite a bit of it. They did add in that law enforcement has been unsuccessful in locating the victim as of March 18th, 2024. It looks like the new part on this is, let's see, Fond du Lac. I think this is new that they, law enforcement located messages from Vang to Baur at approximately 6:39 p.m. and 6:49 p.m. February 17th, 2024, where Vang tells Baur that he is angry with the victim. Child 1 overfilled his diaper with poop and pee, and that Vang gave victim child 1 a cold shower. Vang noted that victim child 1 was clean but scared. I will reiterate again, Katrina Baur did make a statement to Detective Lieutenant Glaser, and this was in the first one, but I will repeat it again. Katrina Baur stated that Jesse Vang was the enforcer of the rules in the relationship, and that was the reason for sending the victim, child 1, to stay with Vang. She discussed with him the limits of discipline she did not want used. Other than that, she is fine with whatever discipline Vang enforces. Yes, we are discussing a 3-year-old boy. Apologize. I'm just making sure I'm not being redundant. Vang advised that he changed the victim's diaper at least once per day because he was not potty trained. On the evening of February 19th, he changed victim child 1's diaper prior to him going to bed at 8 to 9 p.m. He then watched Ready Player One prior to putting him to bed. He stated that victim child 1 was not watching the movie as Vang put him in punishment. He stated that the victim would stand in the corner or stand by the bed by me. He gets pretty tired from ... I guess like from standing too. He explained he does not want to be mean to him, but he is trying to teach him to be more respectful. He was asked about February 19th if he made the victim child 1 stand, to which he replied, yeah, for probably like 2 to 3 hours. Vang confirmed again that child victim 1 stands for 2 to 3 hours without sitting. In the event that victim child 1 tries to sit down, Vang will say, "You want cold water?" He then indicates he's fine. It's not like his knees are shaking or he's about to fall over. Now, I just want to point out that we will watch the video of the, not in this video, but I will be going over the defense attorney and how he addresses some of these things, because it absolutely is mortifying to hear this attorney. He talks about how he didn't change his diaper. He was too tired. They talked about the Christmas toy. We were talking about the cold shower. He denied following through with the ultimatums like the cold water. Let's see. So he again reiterates he would lock the door of the apartment, the doorknob, the deadbolt, and security chain. So magically, we're supposed to believe that the 3-year-old did this himself. Let's see. On February 13th, 2024, at 9:30 p.m., Katrina Baur and Jesse Vang begin discussing Katrina coming to Jesse's apartment for intercourse. Jesse says that Katrina cannot see the victim when she gets to the apartment, and that victim child 1 can be placed in the bathroom while they have intercourse. At approximately 10:12 p.m., Katrina sends a message to Jesse, and victim child 2 can sleep in the car. That's right, victim child 2. Then at approximately 11:45 p.m., he says victim child 1 will be put in the living room and that Katrina needs to be quiet walking through. At 12:39 a.m. on February 14th, okay, so 11:45, 12:39. So that's what, 40, 55 minutes, 56 minutes. Jesse asks Katrina to send her location so he knows when to put victim child 1 to sleep. They also discuss her stopping at Quick Trip and Manitowoc while on the way. Katrina's cell phone arrives in Two Rivers at 2:27 a.m. on February 14th. They were Facebook messaging between Katrina and Jesse. At 2:35 a.m., Katrina asked Jesse, "Is there a way to shut off your headlights completely?" Jesse responds, "No, cannot set off completely." Katrina messages, "I can't find victim 2's cell phone, but a cop just passed by, so I want to make sure she's good." Victim 2 is a child for which Katrina Baur is a parent of, and Katrina Baur indicated victim child 2 is autistic. Okay? So her other child is autistic. Jesse Vang's son is autistic. Katrina messaged, "Let me find her phone quick because I need to have some type of sound for her." Jesse messaged, "Probably thinks someone is warming up." Katrina responded, "Not worth the risk. I'll leave it off for a bit, then turn it on again." Jesse said, "Okay." So she's going to leave the car turned off in February in northern Wisconsin with the autistic daughter in the car. She messaged that she found the phone, but it was dead. She messaged she would leave her phone in the car. She questions whether to leave her phone on, but on mute around 2:40 a.m. She also messaged, "It should stay warm for a bit, right?" He responded, "Yeah, it will." At approximately 3:13 a.m., a photograph was taken and the GPS indicates she was at 3918 Mishcot Drive in Two Rivers. The photograph shows victim child 1 laying down on a bed. Victim child 1 had a blindfold over his eyes, appearing to have bruising on his jawline and neck on the left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm. Katrina confirmed that she took the picture and later deleted it around 4:12 a.m. Katrina's phone leaves Two Rivers at 4:30 a.m. on February 14th. So, approximately 2.5 hours or so, the autistic daughter is alone in the car in the freezing cold. According to the National Weather Service records, the low temperature for Two Rivers on February 14th was 27 degrees Fahrenheit. In a review of Facebook Messenger messages between Katrina and Jesse, officers located a photograph taken on February 15th, 2024 at 8:24 p.m. showing victim child 1 standing in a corner, diaper only, hands appear to be in the praying position, and the diaper looks full. It appears to have been taken at Jesse Vang's apartment. The phone records further indicate that Katrina returned to the city of Manitowoc on February 16th at 11:01 p.m. She called Jesse's phone around 11:15 p.m., went into a quick trip, purchased items confirmed by surveillance. At approximately 11:21 p.m., she texted Jesse's apartment around midnight. At approximately 12:30 a.m. on February 17th, their cell phones both moved to the city of Manitowoc. At approximately 12:50 a.m., Jesse went to Saucy's bar in the city of Manitowoc and went in by himself. This was confirmed by a patron of the bar. Their phones separate for about an hour. During that time, Katrina traveled to Quick Trip, located at 2103 South 42nd Street in the city of Manitowoc. Officers were able to view surveillance footage in the Quick Trip. She can be seen sitting in the driver's seat of the vehicle. There is no child seen in the vehicle. At approximately 1:45 a.m., she makes purchases inside the Quick Trip. Then her phone travels to Jesse's location, and they return to Jesse's apartment in Two Rivers. At approximately 5 a.m., Katrina leaves Two Rivers. On February 16th, victim child 2 was being taken care of by a person in the Dells area. On February 16th, victim child 1 was in Two Rivers and supposed to be under the care of Jesse and Katrina. Law enforcement has been unable to locate anyone other than Jesse or Katrina who cared for the child on February 16th and 17th. On February 18th at 4:36 a.m., Jesse messages Baur, "I told you to trust me. I'ma make sure he hates me and hates being here." She responded, "Don't want him to hate you, just fear you." Jesse responds, "It's okay. Someone had to be the bad person." Katrina messages, "I know, but either way, if he can fear you and respect you. He did fear me, but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me." Let's see. So that was the amended complaint. And I'm just going to also make a note that I wanted to double check what they have for the actual last known proof. I apologize. I do want to double check what the last known proof of life date was, because I know that there was some later footage that they had. So I will make sure that I include that. So we do, at this point, you realize there are 2 victims involved. That would be the autistic daughter of Katrina, who, in my opinion, was probably subjected to abuse and neglect. But that was potentially not at the hands of Jesse and more at the hands of Katrina. We will review her documents as well. And again, I will be showing the video of what happened and what the defense attorney did, because it was really upsetting, I guess. And then last document so on March 18th, the defendant, Jesse Vang, made a motion to make the complaint more definite and certain, or to dismiss for insufficient complaint. And essentially, they're alleging that the complaint doesn't state offenses appropriately, that he's not going to be able to prepare an appropriate defense because of the original complaint, that, the courts have to consider whether the complaint alleges facts that identify the alleged criminal conduct with reasonable certainty. and that no matter how abhorrent the alleged conduct may be, a defendant's due process rights cannot be ignored or trivialized. He is charged with one count of neglecting a child in violation of Wisconsin statute section 948.21, subsection 3 and 3E, which has, that offense has 6 elements. 1, the child had not reached the age of 18. The second one, the defendant was the person responsible for the welfare of the child. 3, the defendant, through action and for reasons other than poverty, failed to provide necessary care. 4, the failure to provide seriously endangered the physical, mental, or emotional health of the child. 5, the failure to provide was negligent. 6, the natural and probable consequences of the neglect would be death, great bodily harm, a child offense, emotional damage, or bodily harm. Now, the next part is just humorous because you've listened to everything thus far. The criminal complaint alleges various conduct of Mr. Vang between February 12th and February 20th. However, the criminal complaint either does not provide Mr. Vang with sufficient notice as to what conduct is alleged to be neglectful, and or fails to allege sufficient facts from which it can be inferred that Mr. Vang committed the offense charged. I would argue that he directly made statements, so to me that would be sufficient fact, of every single one of those 6 elements. Let's see. So that that the criminal complaint does not provide Mr. Vang with sufficient information that would allow him to plead and prepare a defense. It's unclear to the defense what behavior, and to the defendant what behavior Mr. Vang is alleged to have engaged in that would be considered a failure to provide necessary care. So I'm very fascinated that they really focused in on that. But first, is the state alleging that Mr. Vang having the alleged victim stand for 1 to 3 hours in a timeout is a failure to provide necessary care? Is the state alleging that his not changing the alleged victim's diaper at least once per day a failure to provide care? Is the state alleging that Mr. Vang locking the door with the lock on the doorknob, the deadbolt, and security chain and going to sleep while the alleged victim was in a timeout a failure to provide necessary care? In short, the complaint fails to provide sufficient notice to Mr. Vang as to the alleged neglectful action that would allow him to plead and prepare a defense. In order to provide him with sufficient notice, the state must make the criminal complaint more definite and certain as to what behavior Mr. Vang is alleged to have done that would be considered a failure to provide necessary care. It's absolutely ludicrous. Let's see, the complaint doesn't set forth essential facts, which it can be inferred that the child's physical, mental, or emotional health was seriously endangered. How is the child's health seriously endangered? In addition, how is the natural and probable consequence of Mr. Vang's conduct great bodily harm, a child SO, emotional damage, or bodily harm? The complaint fails to answer these questions and therefore does not provide probable cause to Mr. Vang. Wherefore, for the reasons stated above, Mr. Vang requests that the court grant this motion and enter an order requiring the state to make the criminal complaint more definite and certain, to provide Mr. Vang with sufficient notice that would allow him to plead and prepare a defense. In the alternative, Mr. Vang requests that the court grant this motion and enter an order dismissing the criminal complaint. So that is where we're at on the most up-to-date received documents on Jesse Vang. I will be reading Katrina Baur's documents as well, and we will be reviewing the video footage to look at the defense attorney in action. It's absolutely awful to watch. It made me ill. So please, again, hopefully you watched the first video, part 1 in the Elijah Vu playlist. It should say part 1 regarding these documents. You can read them in the proper order. And then I will also be dropping the videos on Katrina Baur's documents. And then we will probably watch the footage of the defense attorney live on a live together. So let's continue to pray for Elijah and pray that he is located and continue to work towards locating him. In the meantime, please just stay tuned as we will be all over this case. We will continue to be, and we have been. And if you come up with any questions, feel free to comment them or email them. Thank you.